China faces serious challenges in food security and agriculture. The younger generation is increasingly reluctant to work in agriculture, and those born after 2000 often can't even tell the difference between wheat and onions. Middle-aged and elderly farmers bear the brunt of the country's food supply. As they age, however, the question arises, who will carry on their work? Low agricultural incomes and unfavorable market conditions discourage young people from working the land. Many are leaving their home villages for jobs in the cities. As a result, China is increasingly dependent on grain imports, jeopardizing the country's food security. The Chinese government has set an ambitious goal to significantly reduce dependence on imported agricultural products in the next decade. It is planned to bring the level of self-sufficiency in major cereals and legumes to 92% by 2033. However, analysts doubt the achievability of this goal due to the country's limited land, water, and soil resources. China is the world's largest importer of agricultural products. In 2023, grain imports reached a record 160 million tons. At the same time, its own grain production amounted to 695 million tons. Experts predict that by 2035, the level of food self-sufficiency may fall to 65%. The problem with soybeans is especially acute. China imports about 100 million tons of soybeans annually, which accounts for 60% of the world exports of this crop. Dependence on soybean imports has increased from 37.6% in 2000 to 83.4% in 2020. China's massive food imports have a significant impact on global agriculture and the environment. By some estimates, China's demand for food imports is responsible for 30 to 60% of global deforestation. At the same time, China is highly dependent on a small number of supplier countries, many of which are geopolitical rivals. This poses risks to the country's food security in the event of trade wars or sea lane blockades. The situation is exacerbated by shrinking arable land due to urbanization and industrial development. Over the past 10 years, China has lost about 5% of its farmland. Soil degradation and pollution are also acute problems. According to a recent survey, 40% of the country's arable land is damaged. To address these problems, the Chinese government is taking a number of measures. It plans to increase grain production by 50 million tons by 2030 by modernizing farmland and investing in breeding. Farmers are being encouraged to switch from industrial crops to cereals. Methods of growing crops in desert regions are being developed. However, experts believe that these measures are not enough. China's agriculture still consists mainly of small farms, which find it difficult to introduce modern agricultural technologies. The yield of major crops lags far behind the world leaders. Under these conditions, the government is betting on the development of genetically modified crops. This year, high-yielding GMO varieties of corn and soybeans were approved. However, even with this in mind, experts believe it will be extremely difficult for China to significantly reduce soybean imports in the foreseeable future. Xi Jinping has put forward the concept of big food, emphasizing the importance of providing a diverse diet, including meat, vegetables, fruits, and seafood along with grains. However, critics consider this concept unrealistic without market reforms and land privatization. Food security is closely linked to the political stability of the regime. A serious food crisis could pose a threat to the regime. At the same time, the problem of food safety is also acute in China, with millions of people suffering from the consumption of low-quality food every year. Experts believe that without comprehensive market reforms and land privatization, it will be extremely difficult for China to solve the accumulated problems in agriculture and food security. What is needed are not just slogans, but real working mechanisms. Thank you for watching this video. If you like the material, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. We try to provide up-to-date and objective information about the most important problems of modern China. We wish you all the best and see you soon.